Joe Farley up in the house today. Good evening, everybody. Good evening. This is Joe Farley, your men's life coach. I am not a radio host, but I am Joe Farley, the president and founder of Friends of Fathers, and I am excited to present to you today some information that would help you address some life issues when it comes to addressing your child support and navigating through the child support system as well. I want to remind you, if you have an extra phone, you might want to make sure you put it on vibrate or silence so it won't interrupt you. I just did mine, so because my phone is going off all the time. I get guys calling me at 2 o'clock in the morning. My wife said, "Boy, who's that calling you?" I said, "Baby, that's a notification for the people that's going to call, and I can help them with the child support. So our rent can get paid." Hallelujah. Guys, again, and ladies, I thank you for joining Friends of Fathers. We truly appreciate and have the honor to be able to serve you like we serve so many others. We've been around since 2007 and going strong. We anticipated this type of service where you can go through and use your virtual networking through Zoom and your phones, FaceTime, and all of that things. I started this, went into the virtual business of our services back in 2018 and was poised. Unbeknownst of the pandemic, we're still able to help fathers address and parents address the child support system while they were in the pandemic. So again, I want to thank you all. I'm going to go through this presentation and really pretty much give you information about who we are, what we do, how we do what we do, and how we've helped others. And my prayer is that it helps you. So that's what this webinar is all about today. We have helped many, many mothers over the years. Not that many, but we've helped several mothers address the issue because the system is, we may think that is for the mothers, and it has been proven, it seems like it has been, but we have helped many mothers address issues as well. So if you go back child support because of divorce or you decided the kid's going to be with the father, or the kids are going through foster care or whatever, you still have to address the child support issue. And we've helped fathers and mothers go through that. So let's get started. I am your host, Joe Farley, the men's life coach here, founder and president of Friends of Fathers. And likewise, we just talked to you about your hearing experience. So you want to make sure you don't have anything running in the background. These kind of tools and these rules here are what the court will request and require that you participate in. So it's kind of good that we have this right here for you as well. Okay. And Pam, I know that we had some issues before on the recording, but make sure if you can't hear me, blow up my phone. Do something to make sure I can know that the recording is not taking place very well.
Okay.
Now, in the chat box, it looks like some of you have already experienced using the chat box, and I thank Pamela for giving you some instructions where you can put in the information here. Is this your first time? Is this your first time going through a webinar about dealing with child support? If so, put in yes in the chat box. If it's no, put in no. Likewise, we want to make sure you're in the right place. And I hate to waste people's time. So if you have the following issues, those issues are child support payments issues. You have back child support, which they call arrears. If you have a bench warrant, child support bench warrant only. If you have a custody or parenting time or any FOC issues, any friend of the court issues, you're going to be in the right place, okay? So I want to make sure of those things. Now, who is Friends of Fathers and what do we do? Well, Friends of Fathers is a virtual and educating and coaching services that assists fathers and families with navigating through their way through the child support system and the friend of the court system. Our motto about Friends of Fathers is basically strengthening the men and empowering fathers. We say strengthening men because men are strong naturally. However, it seems like we've been beaten down when we go through the friend of the court process and we seem like we can't get anything done. It makes us feel like we're weak and there's nothing that we can actually do. But with Friends of Fathers, we empower you through our mission statement, which is to educate, advocate and provide resource services to help enhance the quality of life for the father in their home and their community. Now, we say home and community because sometimes you can get a knock at the door at your house or at your girlfriend's house, whatever address that they have, and the police is out there serving you on a bench warrant. We're going to talk about that bench warrant in just a moment. Also, FOF services includes sometimes individual coaching, preparations for the plan of action as well. Your plan of action is just like a goal. I mean, everyone should have some type of plan for their lives, and we help you with a plan for the friend of the court, helping you by educating you through our educational webinars on how to address the child support system and the family life issues. Now, there's also a couple of different areas here too. We say child support system, but there's also, guys and ladies, we have the friend of the court. Those are two different issues. Okay, I know some people think everything is all as one. No, friend of the court is the enforcer. They're the police. They're the court. That's what courtroom. You go to the courtroom to get a sentence, or you get a order, or you get whatever you need to have based on what the judge finds that is true to the best of their ability and the information that they have. So the child support system is the one that creates the criteria. The friend in the court is the enforcer. Okay. So our vision is to help you by providing services to help enhance the quality, help make the fathers more self-sufficient and supportive to your children and family. We say children and family because sometimes you might have more than one child by more than one woman, but all of the children are considered your one family. So therefore, that means that the court should and always have to take in consideration that you have other financial responsibilities. So therefore, they can modify your child support according to your ability to pay. That statement right there, if you can just put that down as your note. I remember a gentleman earlier who was getting a pad. He said, man, I need a little bit more paper than that. I'm going to take these notes, friends and fathers, about to get on this website, this webinar. So the statement is, according to my current ability to pay. Pamela, could you just put that in the chat? Just put it in the chat. You don't have to say anything about it. I'm going to say it one more time. Please charge me according to my current ability to pay. Please charge me according to my current ability to pay. My current ability to pay. That's so important because back in the day, they got me down when I was working at Ford Motor Company. When Ford Motor Company was paying $30, now they're paying $19 or $18. So your income has changed. That's called a change of circumstance. So charge me according to my current ability to pay. Okay, so that's one little helpful hidden tip there. Our typical client barriers are that, first of all, every time you got to go to court, you think, oh my God, I got to get an attorney. Attorney costs too much. It costs $2,500, $3,500, $5,000, and it can cost you that much. By the way, for your information, back in 2014, really in 2009, I went back to school, starting this company, and went back to school to become a paralegal. And it was under the advice of one of the presiding judges at the time, because they saw the work that I was doing. They was thinking, you know what, you should become an attorney or a paralegal because of the information and education that I could provide. So I went back to school. And since then, I have had a number of different attorneys who have hired me to help them with their cases. I deal with attorney cases every day, every week, for certain. So basically, I have a team that helps me with my paralegal work. So therefore, I can continue to help my fathers and friends of fathers navigate through the child support system. And these rates are the rates that some attorneys are charging for attorney fees when they go to navigating through the child support system for you. Okay. So you want to help yourself. Sometimes you can't afford it, but you still need to be able to address your issues when it comes to reducing your child support, addressing your back child support, addressing the bench warrants, getting your parenting time and custody. And these rates will be something that you would actually be charged for. Now, if you happen to need an attorney, Friends of Fathers, because of my professional relationship with these attorneys, I can help you address that issue as well. And you'll still have me part of your team, of that legal team. So also some of the people, the typical barriers that they have is trusting people with their information. Now, when I first started out, people were afraid to even come to me because it's like, oh man, that he might be part of the friend of the court. And many fathers, over 4,000 to be exact, 4,000 cases I've actually helped since 2007. So we're not the friend of the court. We are friends of fathers. First of all, you got a friend now, and it ain't Uncle Robinson. Okay. It's friends of fathers. Also, people are risky, might end up in jail. This is why it's important. When you go through our services, the most important question that we have, and some people may even know this, but most important question that we have, the number one question we have you to make sure you get answered before you go into that courtroom. And that is, or into that courthouse, okay, or to that building. Some of us in Wayne County go to the Penobscot, Oakland County, Kent County, Macomb County, wherever you got to go, you want to make sure you call first. Okay. Make sure you don't have no bench warrant. That's the first thing you want to know. I don't care if you don't ever do any services with us. Please make sure you call first to make sure you don't have a bench warrant. And there's some other questions that goes along with that. When you become our client, we kind of show you how to navigate that process as well. Also, some of the other typical barriers is that the guys feel intimidated by the court process. It's like if you go to court, most likely you feel like you're guilty, you don't know what to say, and then sometimes you just say too much and you're giving them more information than you should, and now it turned up against you. But yet still you went to court, but you want to make sure, you really want to make sure that you know what you're saying and say what you need to say, keep it to the point. That's why we're here to coach you through that process. Now, and also the motions. Some guys, they've called me, I got the motions, man. I got the motions, but they haven't filled them out because they're confused. It's confusing to them to fill it out. Well, we educate you on that process as well. Okay. So with that, you have, attorney fees cost too much, trouble trusting people. This is a sample of an attorney because he's calculating how much he's going to charge you. And then he's looking at you like, you can't pay me? You can't pay me? Man, next. Okay. So that's kind of how they feel. But what specific problems do our clients have? This one right here. This one here is like child support is too much. Okay. It's too much money. The other one is I can't even live and pay my own bills. The other is that the mother won't let me see my children. The other one could be fear of going to jail. Everybody's fear of going to jail. Hell, I was fear of going to jail my first time. My brother said, boy, don't you know, are they taking some money out your check? I said, yeah. He said, man, go on down there. Because I had to do a show calls, guys. And I was back in 2006. And I was scared as hell. Believe you me. I'm a ministering to men's ministry at my church. And I had the mothers and the mother guilds. I don't know if y'all have been in church, but I had the mothers praying for me on the front row. Lord, bless Brother Farley when he go down there to the courthouse. And believe you me, I'm glad I had them pray for me because that's how Friends of Fathers was birthed. Sometimes you have them prayer for you. You don't know what they really praying, especially when they be praying in those tongues. So they helped me out. Praise the Lord. Now I'm running Friends of Fathers for nearly 16 years. So also the bench warrant. This is an example. Here's a guy here who's getting ready to go down there to city county building. Looks like that's the city county building right there. But now he can't go in there because they're getting ready to arrest him. That's just a little picture. But the bottom line is that we all fear of that bench warrant going to jail. So we don't want that. And guess what? If you got money in the bank, you might want to think about taking it out because if you owe child support, they will freeze your bank account. Freezing your bank account during a time where it seems like they weren't even bothering you, but now they're bothering you. But you got money in the bank, they'll take it. And then you have to file a motion to see if you can get some of that money back. And 98%, I won't say probably about 92 because I've got my money back. I got some clients' money back before, but it was particular reasons. So these are specific problems that most clients are having when you're having to navigate through the child support. So why do our clients have those particular problems? Well, some of us are unemployed. They have low paying jobs. Mothers continue to interfere with my parenting time. They won't, I won't, it's not that I won't pay, but I can't pay FOC. And then when you fail to attend the first court hearing, when you first started out your hearing or this case, she didn't give the right address to mother, or you never did get the mail or whatever. You didn't show up, or you're afraid to show up. And then there's a default. That default was put on you. And like I have a client right now, we have a client that's going to court. We do role plays. So we got to practice this role play with the client because they just automatically charge him $1,000 for child support. He hasn't even submitted his information. Where did they get information about charging him $1,000? He haven't even been to court. Okay. So you really want to make sure that you are addressing these issues. So some of these pain points that most of our fathers have had is that, they don't want to go to jail. Like I mentioned, they take up to 50% or more of your paycheck. Now, back in the day, when I was behind in my child support, they were taking up to 65%. Since then, they take up to 50%. Sometimes it appeared to be more because, like I have another client that he's going to go through addressing his child support because he got a part-time job. But if the order says that he's supposed to be paying $700 a month, and then he gets a second job, they're not supposed to take automatically another $700. Okay. They can take up some more money, but they can't take that money, but they will. And there are some things that you need to do to address it. Also, you don't have enough money to pay your bills. That is a concern that they do have. You can share with them, but most likely they don't care. Also, you can't buy a new car. That's a challenge right there. I remember I was getting back on my feet back in 2007, 2008, and I had to pay cash for my vehicle. After that, for a little while, I went back and got a used car, and my interest rate is so high on the doggone car loan. And guys, that's another effect that you have on your when you're purchasing or you get any type of credit, your interest rates are higher. Okay. My interest rate, I think it was 11 or 10%, 10.9% on that Durango, 2005 used Durango. I had that sucker for over 8 years. But the key thing is that my interest rate was high because the credit, if you're behind 2 months of payments of your child support, it goes on your credit report. That also takes your back taxes too. So you don't get your tax refund, okay? But there's some things that you guys can do to address it, especially for those who are just having back child support only. You got just arrears and it's adult children. There are some things that you can do to address that issue, okay? And I can share those things with you as well. Now, also, because you got back child support, you didn't even get the stimulus check, at least not the first one. And some of us didn't get the second one. Some of them got portion of the second one, but didn't get the $600. So there's some things you need to do about that as well. You need to really talk to your tax accountant and let them know, hey, I didn't get my second stimulus check, and they were supposed to give it to me, and they can possibly put it on there onto your tax, your filings for your tax refund, so that can be used as a credit for you as well, another deduction, so that can help you pay lower taxes. So again, I'm not a tax preparer. I just know this kind of stuff, and you can also make sure you go to your tax preparer, whoever does your taxes. Okay. So what are the outcomes and pain points and desires? Some of the desires and outcomes of my clients. Now I don't have to pay any child support bench warrants. No more child support bench warrants. Okay. No more money in your paycheck, because you actually made sure. Remember that statement that I told you before, especially if you're paying for child support for minor kids. Charge me according to my current ability to pay. I believe Pamela put that inside of the chat. So make sure you copy that. That's some free information for you. Also, you'll be able to pay some of your bills. You can pay your car note. You can get your tax refund. I love getting my tax refund, believe you me. And as a business owner, I also pay quarterly taxes too, to help me offset some of my expenses as well. I get my stimulus check, man. I tell you, I ain't buy a new TV. I bought some more stock with my first $1,200 as well. And also my credit score, ooh, it shot straight up, man. Now I'm almost catching up with my wife. Boy, that's why I'm glad I married her. She got good credit, and now I do too. Praise the Lord. And also, I have my doggone passport. That is so important for me because with me making money and not having to take the money away from me from child support from my previous marriage, my wife and I can go anywhere. Now I have my passport. And guys, if you owe back child support more than $2,500, they can relinquish or they can basically put a hold on your passport. So you have to make sure you address these issues to knock it down on your back child support so that you can get the things that you need for your new life, with your new wife. All right. So also some of the other things here is that it creates the financial freedom. Okay. Like I said, there's no more bench warrants, money in your paycheck, pay your bills, car notes, tax refunds, stimulus checks, and better credit report and your passport. So that's financial freedom that you currently have. So that's important to you all, I'm sure. So friends of fathers help you make a difference. Why do our clients want to see a change? Because they want to be involved in their children's lives. So many times, if you talk about friend of the court, everybody talks about child support, about the money. But I have had thousands of fathers have called me about their children. They want to be involved with their children. And sometimes a mother holds those children away from her because now I got a new girlfriend. She's more beautiful, or she got her stuff together. I'm living with her, or we living together, and she's just jealous. Okay. So now it's important that you understand that you're not just a paycheck, you're a father and you're a parent too. So therefore, you need to be able to make decisions in reference to the health, the education, the religion, bringing up your children. I had myself and Pamela was at an event 2 weeks ago at an event here in Detroit where they invited us out to over 300 different employees out there that had child support issues. And one woman came up to me about her son that he needed some help getting custody because the mother and her new boyfriend were worshiping Satan. Okay, that's a religious issue. And anytime that both parents are not in agreement on the upbringing of these three categories, that's their health, their education, and their religion, that calls for you to file a motion to show just cause on why that child should not be involved with that particular situation, or that I get custody for my child because this is not in the best interest of the child. That's another statement, guys. This is not in the best interest of the child. Best interest of the child. That's what the friend of the court is all about. What's in the best interest of the child. Write that down because you can use that for yourselves. The other one is that I want to feel like a man again. These are statements that guys have given me, and get some respect. You don't get no respect from the mother. Sometimes you don't even get respect from the children because the mother has put in bad information out there about you to the children, and even to the mother-in-law or their grandmother on their side. Sometimes it even crossed over into your own family. And then you have more money in your paycheck to buy stuff for yourselves, your girlfriend or your wife or your children, and have money left over from your paycheck so you can do some investing for your future as well. So what is Friends of Fathers going to do for you? Okay, first of all, we're going to educate you about the FOC and child support system. Remember, I told you about that earlier. FOC, which is the friend of the court, they're the enforcers. They're the ones that lock your butt up. The child support system is the ones who put the rules together. And the friend of the court, FOC, will be the ones that's going to be the enforcers, your judges, your referees, your sheriffs, all of those individuals, okay? So, but there's a way of dealing with those individuals, and you don't have to be afraid of them because you know what? They're there to represent you, your children, and you as a parent, not just the mother. So we teach you on how to address your parenting time issues. If you got parenting time, we help you create a parenting time plan, because you need a plan. And every father don't just have, I just get my kids on the weekend. Heck, man, you need to be able to pick up your child, take them to school. So therefore, those kids, especially when they're elementary and junior high, they'll know that they got a father. That will reduce some of the bullying sometimes, and also bullying by the doggone teacher sometimes. When the father walks up in there, it's like, whoa, he got a father. I got to be careful on the words he's going to say, because the father's going to come up here and address me. I'm not saying that you're going to address them physically, but you're going to address them. These children need, the children and the schools and the mother needs to know that this child has a protector, a father that provides for them. And if you're not paying your child support, that does not mean that you're not a protector or provider. Okay, that means that you need to address the child support so that you can address it and make it have the child support reduced down to what you're currently able to pay based on your current ability to pay. Okay, and let me tell everyone on the phone, everyone all here on the call, and tell this to your friends. If you're not paying child support on a monthly basis, please start doing it. You say, man, I ain't got the money that they're asking for. Well, you need to modify the child support. Well, man, okay, but I ain't got a job. Okay, you need to send $5 in. Oh, you said $5, man, shoot, that ain't no money. Yes, it is. It's explaining to them that this is my current ability to pay. So when they get you on a bench warrant because you are on a show cause and they bring you in, you can show, hey, I don't have a job. I've been looking. I'm unemployed. I'm on a bridge card. Okay. There's a lot of different things that you can do, but you got to make sure that you're paying every doggone month. Do something. Do not, $2. I am not lying. It will help you because this here can turn into a felony non-support. That means that I don't care if you're a preacher. Okay. I got a preacher friend right now that last week he was faced with felony non-support because he didn't pay. I don't know why he didn't pay, but let me give you a similar scenario of another preacher that didn't pay, but they took over $15,000 out of his checking account, and they applied it to the 3 different cases that he had. However, they did that, and he didn't pay this child support because he figured, well, hell, I paid $15,000 this past month or 3 months ago. Man, that's more than what they should get in the whole year. It's not so. You need to make sure that you continue to pay whatever you can pay, because they take that money and they take a lump sum. Like, for instance, some guys say, well, they'll just take my taxes. It's okay. No, it's not okay, because your rule is that you got to pay on a monthly basis. Just because they take a lump sum of money does not mean that you don't have to pay, for that year or that 6 months. What you should be doing is making sure you negotiate with the mother. Hey, you know what? I got some money that's coming through, especially if they know your taxes, guys. They're going to take them taxes. So why don't we just close out the case? It's a number of different things you can possibly do that we have done and help other fathers. So we also teach you how to lower your payments, okay, for child support based on your ability to pay. Teach you how to reduce or eliminate your back child support. We got guys that had over $100,000 in one county, $90,000 in another county, and got it all reduced for $25 a month for 2 years. That means he had 2 years to pay a total of $600 a piece. Once those payments were paid early, or sooner, or late, or within that 24 months, he was able to go and file another motion and say, hey, I met the payment plan. Please close out the case. And they eliminated and reduced and close that case out. So it's a different things that you guys can qualify for that we can help you address those issues. Now, help me feel free again. I'm alive. I can basically feel like I don't have to feel embarrassed that I don't pay my child support. And with my current wife, hey, now I can add some more money to the bills. I can kind of feel a little bit more independent. So get my dignity back, man. That's what it's all about. So why do you need, or I would need Friends of Father services? Well, it helps with the lack of understanding, threats of going to jail, loss of jobs, help create a co-parenting plan with the mother as well. Okay. If you put a plan together, believe you me, it's going to have to be enforced. It's going to be enforced by the court. But we don't have enough fathers showing up to court, at least playing the game the proper way. That's what Friends of Fathers is here for. Okay. So with that, that's going to help you get the financial freedom that you need as well. Now, I'm not talking about financial freedom where you don't have to pay child support. That's not financial freedom. That's a person that's putting their head underneath a rock. And hey, you got to take care of your children. If you're in the court system and if you're giving the mother some money, man, I feel sorry for you, because when she come to court, she ain't even showing that she's agreeing that you gave her some money. That's why whenever you give her some money, you pay it through the front of the court. Always pay it through the front of the court. Now, if you happen to have to, like she really bad in a bad way, she needs some money to pay rent or whatever, then you have her write your letter and then you submit it to her, and she's going to put on that letter, hey, this is going to be a credit for off of my child support arrears, or this is my payments towards the child support case, and likewise, she's in agreement with that. Get it notarized. Costs $10. You go to the bank, get it, any bank, any place, you can get the thing notarized. Get a letter. You don't have to have a typed out professional letter. You can have a written letter, get it sealed, and basically, she would agree to close out. If you gave her 300, she might close out 3,000. You never know. It depends on the circumstance that she's in. So why would you go to Friends of Fathers? So that you can get the understanding of what fathers go through, because we understand it. You can also get the help to reduce the child support monthly payments, get that bench point addressed, and help get my kids back. We have helped fathers go across the state to get their kids back from Tennessee, Atlanta, California, Chicago, help them get their kids back, man, because the mother left. So we can help you. So what would motivate you to move forward? Is the desire to see your kids without the mother interfering. Also, being part of the decision-making areas of education and spiritual development and the health of the kids. Also, have someone to talk to about your child support issue. I'm your life coach. Friends of Fathers is here to help you address these issues. Likewise, knowing that there is an end date to child support issues. That's one thing that was very prideful, or I'm very happy about, that the mothers have poked at these fathers for so many years. But the key thing is that, you know what, man, it's an end date to this thing. And now I got Friends of Fathers who's helped me to eliminate the back child support based on my current ability to pay or the rules that are in place. Now I can get this to the end. Now, me, my girl, I can do what I want to do. And my ex-wife ain't bother me anymore. Okay. Thank God my child support is done. It took me some years, even through this company, to address my own child support issues. But again, I addressed them. And that's why I'm here to help fathers with helping them going through this virtual coaching webinar. And as your life coach, Joe Farley, Coach Joe, I can help you do that. So our virtual coaching webinar, and I'm going to open up for a few Q&As in just a moment. Our virtual coaching service, or our webinars, is for fathers to train you guys on, as if you're a legal father or a biological father, or if you've been charged for a child that is not yours and you want to address that issue. Okay. We've helped fathers get over $18,000, $19,000, $20,000 back, or eliminate it because the child was not theirs. Okay, so we have helped whoever has fallen behind in child support payments, to women who must always learn. Also, we help women who have learned to navigate through the child support too. Because I tell you this, my wife was a very intricate part of navigating and helping me go through the front of the court. Believe you me, my check was a little bit low. As we first started living together and getting married, my income was low. And basically, I brought all the money I possibly can back to the house. I didn't do too much partying and buying anything, but I was still low. But she's the one that took care of those particular bills. She's the one that was paying the mortgage in the beginning. Okay. And I was bringing in my $500, $600 to nearly $3,000 monthly budget to the house. That was kind of bold for a little while. I just felt a little bad, but sooner or later, I turned that corner, man. I started making money, and now I'm paying all the bills, okay, except the utilities, guys. And, you know, she paid it for the groceries and stuff. I got to let her do something, but I pay for those majority of those bills. I do take her on trips, and I am able to buy her the diamonds and golds, and truly I do. And the fur coats, I do it all because I have steadfast, but she has helped me, and I truly am indebted to her. So if my videographer person, when he edit this, make sure you keep that part on there, man. All right. I want to keep that out there and get in my comments to my wife. All right. Also, guys, just to let you know, I know this stuff is real to me. Believe you me, it's real. So we'll teach you how to navigate through this so that you can receive the right type of payments that you're supposed to and go through all the changes and modifications on your payments that you need to have. Also, with our service, just like any true plan, like my company, my business plan, you got to have a plan of action. The plan of action is designed to create an assessment of your child support FOC issues. Okay. This information will help you with the motions, preparations, and other documents related to this particular case, your case that you have. So, what's included? When you do a plan of action, it's called creating your plan of action webinar. It's a written plan of action. It's a copy of your FOF, Friends of Fathers Most Important Questions Never Asked. Okay. Some of you guys, I got a person that's on here right now that he's familiar with it. And thank him for joining it today. He's been waiting a long time to get on this. Not because of Joe, Friends of Fathers, Joe Farley. It's just sometimes it takes you guys a little bit of time to get on. Also, it's going to really give you the list of what motions you need to complete, to be completed for your issues, okay? Because everybody's situation is different. Your back child support, the reason I have back child support and the reason James might have back child support is different. So we want to make sure we address it specifically for your information that you need to, so that it can be written on the particular motion. What I mean by that is this: you have a sample plan of action. Your motion statement is going to be written and typed up on that plan of action. All you have to do is take a copy of that information and put it on the motion. Okay. If you don't know how to do that, that's okay. We have a webinar, motion completion webinar program, which we're going to show you in just a moment. So you can choose to take the action on that. Now, the different motion completion webinars. Now, this is motion completion webinar right there. Back here is the plan, creating the plan. You got to have a plan first. You got to assess the situation first. And then you know which kind of motion that needs to be written, like it says in number 4, which motion completion webinar you need to attend. The motion to discharge and abate, which is basically a request to discharge or abate payments for a child over 18 and has emancipated from child support. Did you know when a child turns 18 years of age or graduate from high school, whichever is later, that means if the child turns 18 in April and the graduation is in June, child support ends at the end of June. If the child turns 18 in August and the child graduates in June, child support does not end until August. Okay. So it's when the child turned 18 or graduate from high school, whichever one is later. Now, I'm going to share this with you. It can go all the way until the child is 19 and a half. If that child fails high school or that last year, he's got to repeat the last year, or he has to complete the last year. That means that child turned 19 or 18 in August, 18 in August, then he has to complete the next year. He does not, the child support will stay on there until he graduates in June. Okay. So that's when the child support ends. But if he had to go to summer school and his birthday is in August, he turned 19 in August, but he goes to summer school. That means he goes through the summertime. And therefore, you'll be paying child support until he's 19 and a half. Okay. Or graduate, whichever one is later. So it does have some little tricks to it. I've had a few of these cases, and where sometimes the mother didn't even let the father be involved with the child for many, many years. And therefore, he was not responsible because the mother kept the child away. We were able to make sure he stopped the child support, and she was no longer getting any more child support from that father. So it's a number of different things. You just got to know how to get educated through the process and coach. Okay. Sorry for that long spelled out thing, but now you know the truth. Also, you got arrears of back child support. And when you're requesting for a payment plan or for child support payments that represent a sum of money that has not been paid. So if you owe $43,000, your child is 18 and you don't have the ability to pay, we can help you get a payment plan depending on what your ability to pay is. And it can be $25, $50, or $150 or whatever. It really depends on that particular case. And that will go for maybe a year, 2 years, 3 years. Okay. But you reduce the number of the amount of money that you have to pay per month, okay, for those months. And after you complete that total amount, then you can actually ask for it to be discharged because you have met the payment plan. Some of you on this call may qualify for that. Also, we have motion completion webinar for change of custody of child support. So because some fathers have their children with them, they have them with them, but the father is still paying child support. Well, he shouldn't do that because he's currently paying the child. He has the child with him because mom dropped off the kid in the middle of summertime and didn't even come pick the child back up. Now the father got the child registered at a school by his home. Now it's come November. He's still paying child support. Why are you doing that? You need to change your custody. Okay. Now we need to go back and get a credit for all those times those child been with you. Okay. And sometimes the mothers will sometimes flip on you. No, I didn't. He didn't return my child back to me. But there's a number of things that you can do. We coach you through that as well. So it's a lot of things that is going on with the child support system that fathers know that's happening, but they don't know how to go through it, or they can't afford to have an attorney to help them. Also, guys, change your parenting time. Change your parenting time. That means the number of overnights that you have. If you have that child with you or children with you at 12:01, everybody know 12:01 is a new day, 12:01. That means that's one overnight. However, you have to be able to report that you have the children these many overnights. We have a case that's coming up, I think at the end of this month, where he's had the child from June all the way until the current date. And he's had the child for, it's just been almost a year. So the child support should have changed or at least drastically reduced where he's not paying for that child. Okay. And he should get a credit for all of those times that he did not get, he shouldn't have been charged for child support all these months. And that's one of the reasons why he's going to go to court, change parenting time, change custody, and change the child support amount and get a credit. So it's a number of different things you can do. The child support modification, everybody know what that is. I can bring everybody back online. You can tell me right now, child support modification, you're requesting a reduction to the monthly child support amount based on your current ability to pay. So you want to make sure you have that. That will help you out greatly. Now, with our services, when you go through a motion completion webinar, you get our coaching session and a role play. That is basically done in an individual or in a group setting when you go through these webinars. We'll do a role play, meaning that so when you go to court sometimes you guys freeze up. You don't need to freeze up because when you file a motion, the judge or referee knows what you're filing. All you have to do is read your script. So therefore, we'll practice and do a role play after you complete the motion completion webinar, so you know what to say when you go to court. Because sometimes you get emotional or you get a little anxious or whatever, you want to overtalk or you want to say certain things, but you don't do that. You control the room. And we show you how to do that. So we'll pretend like we're the judges, and we'll let you be you, and then we'll flip the script and let you be the judge, and then we become you. We can become you because we know from doing the assessment. So we act as if we are Mr. Johnson. Mr. Johnson, why are you here? The judge will say. Mr. Johnson, why are you here? Well, I'm here today based on my current income, ability to pay. I would like to have it modified according to that. And then the judge will say, where's your income? I sent it in. Did you have a copy? And they'll say, okay, we got that. And then they basically do a calculation sometimes, they do a formula, and they'll modify the child support on that particular motion. But there's some other hidden things in there that we talk about more in depth into the motion completion webinar, because there's a lot other things that you're going through that needs to be put on that motion. But that's kind of an example of what a role play is. And also we help you with the bench warrants. We have never had a person go to jail because of going through our services. I've had one who said to me, I'm good, man. And this is the time when we're located in the Penobscot building. He went down to the Penobscot building to pick up his payment history. And I was like, what's going on with this guy? Why did he take so long? And his mother called me and said they put him in jail. And I told this man, let's make a phone call down there. It's a simple phone call. No, man, I'm good, because the police stopped me the other night. He ain't say nothing about no bench warrant. Well, we don't trust the police. We don't trust nobody. We trust ourselves. We trust the system. We contact that doggone system to make sure that we don't have a child support bench warrant. It's just a phone call. It's part of my most important questions, never asked. And that's the number one question, because you want to find out, do I have a bench warrant? And there's some other questions that I have on there to help you a little bit more, okay? You never want to go down to the front of the court without checking if you have a bench warrant. And with this motion completion webinar, there's other documentation that you may need to help you with the preparation and filling out the motion forms properly. Okay. Now, real quick, here's some testimonies of some of the guys. I'm going to fly through this real quick for you. Here's a guy that went through changing in custody for a child that basically he had his name on the birth certificate. However, he didn't have a court order saying that he was the father. When you have a birth certificate, it does tell you that, yes, you are identified as the biological father. However, this is not a court order. You have to proceed with the court process in order to get a custody rights to the child. So he never did that. That child at that age right there, he was getting ready to lose his child because the mother called him up and said, hey, I know this is your time for the parenting time for this weekend for seeing your baby, but this is going to be your last weekend because I'm moving to Tibet. I don't know if you've ever seen the movie. I think whatever his name is, he played in the movie Going to Tibet or whatever. But that means that the baby is getting ready to go with her mother to another country, and this man could not go see his child. We immediately filed an emergency motion. Emergency establishing a custody because he didn't have a case. Okay, and we were able to have this man end up with 50-50 custody of his child, with him not having to pay no child support. Man, that was a great testimony. That's why he's wearing the t-shirt right there. I don't have no hats yet. Okay. Here's another gentleman who had back child support, who was able to get a payment plan for $25 a month for 24 months. On the second month, he was able to pay that total of $600. You can do the multiplication yourself. $25 times 24 months comes up to $600. He had 2 years to pay for it, which is 24 months, but he paid for it the first month. And I'm telling you guys to do this, you let it get registered that you have to pay $25. You're going to get a letter, get an order, and you pay $25. And then the second month, if your mama, your friend, or the backyard or a dog come up with a lot of money, you can go down there and cash it out and close that case in 90 days. Okay. And now this will get off of your credit report. And it helped this gentleman because he went out to start his own business. And that means that he can get a line of credit for his child support. for his business as well. Here's a gentleman, he had multiple cases, over $200,000 over 3 different cases. We helped him to eliminate all of that money down to $20,000, and he negotiated to pay the rest off with the mother, closed out his cases. So it's time for you guys to decide. This is something that you guys got to make a decision on. If you don't want to continue to, every time you get a job, they take 50% of your income, or they keep taking money out your bank account, or you're always getting a bench warrant, can't even get your tax refund. Hell, if they give another stimulus check coming up, you won't qualify for it because they'll take it, even though you should. That's why second time they did, make sure we get that money. But again, you want to eliminate this. And I'm sure you can tell me some reasons why you need to move forward on this. Now, our services, what you need to do is basically you need to register for and pay for the services. But I'm going to go ahead, answer a couple of questions, and then we'll talk about how you can create your own plan of action and the next steps on creating that plan of action webinar, which we do these webinars. We're going to do it next week. Okay. We're going to do it this Monday coming up. Okay. At the same time. Okay. It's going to be recorded as well. Okay. So if you miss it, I hope that you don't. But if you miss it, it'll be recorded for the ones who are paid for their services. And likewise, there's other webinars for the motion completion webinars as well. And I'm going to talk about that in just a moment. Okay. So that's part of the fees here. And I'll talk about it in just a moment. You're going to get a discount for that as well. But let me bring you guys back in and ask any questions that you may have. Let me make sure I can do this here. There we go. You can unmute yourselves, and we're going to get started with a couple of questions. Mr. Brown, let me ask you, you came into our office today. Thank you very much. I truly appreciate that. We only accept, we don't basically do walk-ins, but fortunately enough, Pamela was there working hard as she has been for many years. I stole Pam from the front of the court, y'all. I did. I stole it from the front of the court. I told her when I met her, I said, man, we met at the library at downtown Detroit. She was doing some work and I was doing some work down there volunteering. I said, I'm getting this girl. I'm getting her.
Wonderful. When I walked in, she was very, very nice. Very, very nice. I felt right at home. So
yeah.
Thank you. I'm glad.
Yeah.
And also thank you for this this webinar. This information has been very informative. So I'm very eager to learn more.
Okay, great. Let me ask you, how did you find out about us?
Someone, I'm not sure, maybe about a year ago, someone gave me this information for a client, right? A client that's dealing with child support, right? And I remembered, I said, you know what? Somebody gave me some information about an organization that helped fathers. So now in my situation, I need help. So that's how I thought about you guys, and that's how that came about.
Okay. Now, what area of help do you need? Is it back child support for adult children or minor children? What is your case?
Well, my case is I picked up a second job. Okay. I had child support coming out my primary job. So I picked up an extra job. And as you know, every almost 3 years, they do a evaluation. Okay. So when they saw the second job, right, they determined that I need to pay double. Okay. So now, instead of paying $600, I'm paying almost $1,100.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
So they just said, he can pay double. So I just picked up the second job for maybe 6 months to catch up on some bills, to supplement my income. And I get this letter in the mail today, and it said, hey, you're going to have to pay almost $1,100.
Wow. So
now I have to, I guess, file a disagreement. I don't know what it's called. That I don't agree with this. So
Yeah.
I have 21 days to do that, but I want it done right. So that's the reason why I need you guys' help.
Okay, great, great. Is this for a minor child or adult children?
Minor. My daughter's 9 years old.
Oh, wonderful.
Yeah, she's
That's
9
good.
years old. But the thing is, this is something else I have to file also, parenting time.
Okay.
I was credited for 84 overnights, but I haven't. She hasn't been compliant with that, and it's been a whole big thing because she recently got married, and the husband is a nutcase. So I've been reluctant to deal with the whole situation because I don't want to be in jail. I don't want to get hurt. I don't want to hurt him. Right. So it's been a big mess, you know.
Yeah.
So that's where I stand with that.
Well, that's great. And to assure you that we address all of the issues and the plan of action. The plan of action will address all of the issues. Okay. So you'll have information to deal with the parenting time enforcement or parenting time motion, or if it's a reduction for the child support, if it's addressing the arrears, addressing the double paying of the court order. We have a case like that, unfortunately. We just scheduled that one for, I believe it's the end of this month as well, with another gentleman that waited a long time. And they're charging him like $1,400 for child support, and they only supposed to charge him $700. So yeah, this is something that we can help you with. We've helped others with that as well. Let me do this. I have on here Miss Angela's iPhone. If we can have her. And Aaron, we're going to come back to you in just a moment to show you how to go forward on this.
Okay. Hello.
Hi, Angela. How are you today?
I'm okay. How about yourself?
Oh, fantastic. I think you were calling on behalf of someone, or was it for yourself?
Well, he was on the phone. He had to go to work. I believe he left, but his sister is also on the phone with the iPhone, I believe.
Okay, good. Look, we got family helping out the brother and a friend.
Right.
What's y'all question? Y'all can come on together. Talk. Hey.
So one of the difference is Patrick, which was on, he was on here for a minute.
Okay.
And he's actually the biological, well, he's the father of the child, but he's not on the birth certificate. Some other guy is on there. And the mother actually went in and did a motion first to say, take this person off. And somehow, some way, the person that's on the birth certificate and the mother to say, oh, just forget it, I'll keep my name on there. So they never gave Patrick a chance to actually, this is his daughter, because he took the blood test and everything and it came out to be his. The one that's on the birth certificate is not his at all.
Okay.
But the court system is making him keep his name on the birth certificate, or because they was okay with him staying on there for whatever reason.
So so your brother Patrick has a case right now for child support?
He doesn't have a case. He's trying to establish a case because someone is on the birth certificate stating that he's the father and he's not.
Okay, gotcha. Okay, so he's trying to establish paternity, really. That's
right.
That's what it is.
But the court system's telling him that he can't do anything because the other person that's on the birth certificate and then the mother was like, okay, we'll leave it like that. So they just, he know it's not his child, but he wants to stay on this birth certificate to have control or whatever. I don't know what. So they're giving Patrick a hard time of trying to establish, because the mother is stating this other person is the father, which is not the father.
Okay.
And Patrick done one more thing before I cut you off. I mean, cut you off. But Patrick has kept this child months, like 3 months when the mother was working. It's just when she get back with this particular person, he's not allowed to see the kid. He can't do this. He can't do that. And we having a problem with that.
Okay. So the man is in and out of the mother's life.
Right.
Okay.
And since his
how
name
old is the daughter?
She's 3 right now. She's born in 2020.
Ooh, okay. Yeah. There's a law about being able to address this issue.
We've been trying to.
Yeah,
We've been
within the
trying to address
36
it.
months. Okay, so that's the rule that we'll have to use with him. I'm sorry, I'm taking my notes, and Pam, I'm sure you are as well. So the 36-month rule. Okay, all right.
She
And
just turned 3 February the 4th.
oh, good. Okay, good. That's real good.
Right. And then she recently just did a motion and they denied it because the first motion that she filled out supposed to say, oh, I don't think he's the father. He wants to get off of child support. They end up keeping it the way it was. So they denied this second motion because she said, you already stated that y'all was gonna stay on the birth certificate. You already said it's another father, but they somehow, some way didn't bring Patrick into the picture.
Okay. But okay, so this other man is on there, and
right.
Bottom line, he's not the father.
And he took the blood test also, and he's not the father. Patrick took the test, and Patrick is the father. But this man wants to stay on the birth certificate for whatever reason, but he don't want to pay child support.
Okay. All right. This is good. This is real good. And
I don't mean to interrupt. Sure. I'm sorry, Joe, but Angela, did you come into the office?
Yes, I did. Thank you for all this information, Pam.
Okay, you're welcome.
Yeah, I love Pam because she's a community person. She's very nice with people in the public. So yes, this is something that Patrick needs to get done. I believe he was on the call. So what we're going to do, I'm going to go through this presentation so you guys can know how much it costs. Okay.
Okay.
You're going to be given a discount. Likewise, Mr. Brown as well. But let me show you the process of what we need to do. And your process, or Patrick's process, is to establish paternity and custody and parenting time. Okay. So there's a whole lot there, but to me, it's nothing. It's just what I do. Okay.
Okay.
And to do it properly. Okay. So she did something a month or so ago, you said, the mother?
She did a motion like last year stating that he don't want to pay child support. So he wants to get off the birth certificate. So they went to court, and whatever reason, they changed their mind. So he stayed on the birth certificate, and that was it.
Yeah, so you're talking about he is the boyfriend.
Yeah, okay. Him. Not Patrick. So, but at first he didn't know the child wasn't his, because when she had the child, she said it was his. So that's why he signed the birth certificate.
Okay, gotcha. Okay, great. All right, that sounds good. I mean, not good.
And then she filled out a second motion recently, last month. They denied it because they said you filled out the first motion. Y'all said y'all wanted to keep it this way, so I'm gonna deny it again. Okay. So it's not giving Patrick a fair chance to establish, so they telling him, well, we can't do nothing. There's nothing you can do. You can't do anything. It's too late.
No, it ain't too late. That's that man's child. That's his seed.
Exactly.
Nobody can do that. But again,
right.
If something, there's ways that they can do what they're doing because they're following the process. However, there's some things that was not done, but now they're getting ready to hear from Patrick. Okay.
Right.
We're going to let Patrick make sure he does the right thing to address his issue. So let me go ahead and share with you guys the next process. So the plan of action, and for Patrick, he doesn't qualify for this. Okay. He really doesn't. He can do it, but it is shortchange him. I'm just going to tell you that. Okay. Because you'll get all this information, but then you don't know what to do. So we're going to help you guys do what you need to do the proper way. We've done this many times, and my team and I will help you guys do this. So with the plan of action, just remember, everyone, that a plan of action is going to give you your 1, 2, 3 step on what needs to be done, what needs to be said, and what type of motion you need to file to address your issue. So that's what's going to be very important for everyone to do. Okay. So that's what the plan of action. The plan of action is going to have, I'm coming to court based on blah, blah, blah. This should be ordered because, and I'm asking because of this, and this should be ordered because of this. So therefore you submit your your motion, the type of motion that you need. So, Mr. Brown, your issues in reference to the child support and parenting time, we need to address that. It seems like you're going to end up having to address two different motions, but we'll see that through the plan of action. For certain, you're going to address that the monies for the child support amount because it's inaccurate. Okay.
Okay, excuse me.
Yeah,
But I do need to object to this.
that's correct.
This
Mhm.
motion, this modification, right?
That's
Within
correct.
21 days.
Mhm.
So they have a sheet where I fill, I object and write something. But like I was saying, I want to make sure that what's written is what needs to be said.
That's correct. Yep.
So that needs to be done like ASAP because I don't want the
Mhm.
21 days to expire.
Right. Now, when is your 21 days up?
This was sent April 21st. I got it today, so that's what I can't understand. I got it today, but it says April 21st, 2023 on the front page of here.
Okay. Okay.
And
So we'll you said it says the 21st, but the 21st is how many days is that away? What is that? So Pam figured it out for me. I believe you already did for me. I need to know that. And like you said, we can get this done. We'll, do our best to fit you in so we can make sure that 21 days is not lapse. There's two ways, guys, and this is so important. I'm glad you brought it up, Mr. Brown. When you have 21 days, it's 21 days from the letter where it states what they wrote it as. So April 21st. However, there's a court rule that says it's 21 days from the time that it was delivered via mail or hand delivered. And that was delivered in the mail. So that's why it's important. Anytime anyone ever gets any communication from the court, is identified as a court letter, you want to make sure that you keep a copy of that envelope. Do not discard it. Do not. Always keep it. And I can show you how that will work as well. But Pam, if you could just let me know when that 21 days are up. And Mr. Brown, if you know what that date is, feel free to shout it out as well. So in a sense, Mr. Brown, this here, your plan of action would address that particular issue, along with addressing modification for the child support as well, along with addressing the parenting time as well. Okay. If there's motions that need to be added to it, we can do those too, those additional services. But everything, guys, is done in the plan of action. No matter what, all the clients have to go through an assessment, which is the plan of action. Okay. When is that 21 days up?
I don't have the letter, the front. It's probably in the right
no,
now.
No. We're going to go with the April 21. April 21 is the letter, right?
Yes.
Okay.
That's on the front page, April 21st, 2023, 23rd. But like I said, I received it today. So
okay.
I don't why it took so many days to get here.
That's right. And that's important because you didn't get a chance to respond to it. So we'll talk about that in just a moment as well.
And then, excuse me, and then one more thing. Like I said, initially, the second job was just for 6 months, just to supplement some income, to catch up on some bills. I'm not holding on to the second job. So they're basing the modification on that second job also. So how should I address it? Because I'm not keeping the second job. It was just for
I understand. And that's what's going to be created in this plan of action.
Okay.
That we do for you as well. So the plan of action is normally $397, but because you're joining this particular webinar tonight, it's actually $350. And that webinar, this plan of action is going to address all of your issues inside of that plan of action. Okay. And we're going to get you scheduled with that as soon as possible here. It is next Monday. However, we're going to basically look at some things that we need to do to move some things around, see how we can fit you in as well depending on that 21 days, because if that 21 days is up or close to it, we want to check it out. Pam, did you calculate my 21 days? I know you're smiling and everything. I truly appreciate it.
did.
Okay, what is that date?
It is to be on the safe side, the 11th, May 11th.
Okay, May
Is
11th.
that's the 20th day.
The 20th, right? Because we never go to 21 days, because sometimes, just like you just got it, they say they didn't get it, but we know how to get it to them. Okay.
And excuse me, I'll drive down there to give it to them. Okay?
I bet you will. I know. Yes, sir. We come this far to just miss it up by a day or an hour. So that's how we do that. Let me finish this other part, and I'm going to be able to answer any other questions that we have tonight.
Okay, thank you.
No problem. Likewise, guys, with your plan of action for a plan of action for child support modification, you still get the plan of action. The regular rate will be with the plan of action, you get the motion completion. This is the plan of action, the POA in the red, and the MCW, which is the motion completion webinar for child support. The regular rate is actually $794, but you receive savings of $200 tonight. And so that will be $594. So you get the plan of action and the child support modification for those who need a child support modification. And again, with the plan of action, you get, no matter what your issues are, it's all addressed in the plan of action. But you get one particular motion to address for child support. That will be the rate. Then we also have a payment plan option if you decide that you need a plan of action and the child support modification. Is 2 payments, one of $347 down, and then the second will be due in 2 weeks. Likewise, if your plan of action is dealing with a webinar for arrears, a state owed only, that's if you owe the state, you can get that payment plan for $25 a month, $25 a month for 24 months, or what have you. It really just depends on your ability to pay. And it's different measures that the court uses to determine what it is. However, we ask for what is the lowest and the most reasonable amount that a person can pay. Okay, because they could be taking up to 50% of a person's income. However, they'll be willing to pay $100 for 24 months, which is $2,400. So it really just depends. And you would actually save $200 a day, and that rate would actually be $1,194 to eliminate $43,000, $50,000, $100,000. It doesn't matter what it is, depending on the state only amount. Then you have arrears that is owed to the mother and the state. Mother has something to say about her money. She's a human. She can say something about it, but we basically modify it according to your ability to pay, and ask for a reduction and sometimes even some elimination of those arrears amounts that's owed. Could be credit time for jail time that was served for 2 years or 10 years or whatever, or your income change and basically you put in a motion and no one even did anything about it. Whatever the issues are, is going to be drafted up in your motion and your arrears. So we help you with that. You receive $200 discounted rate, and now that rate will be $294. Your parenting time plan. Okay, your parenting time motion. Sometimes we need to get a parenting time. Now, this is not for the establishing custody and paternity. Okay, this is if you already have a parenting time plan and you need it to get modified. Therefore, there's a motion form that needs to be filled out for that, and you get the plan of action along with the motion completion webinar for parenting time motion. Okay, so you'll be online with us during that particular date that we have our parenting time motion webinar, and the plan of action will be done at that time as well. So therefore, we can actually get the right amount for, or the right parenting time for you for the parenting time motion that you need to fill out. You do save $200 because you're part of this motion completion webinar. So that will be $694 for that motion as well. Now, sometimes we need to do a parenting time enforcement. Okay, that means that, hey, my parenting time is right, but she's not the mother is not allowing me my parenting time. So you need to do a parenting time enforcement motion, okay? Along with your POA, you get that as well, plus your parenting time enforcement motion. You save $200 off that, and it actually is going to be $397. So there's a lot of things that's going to be in the plan of action that can help you address those particular issues. Likewise, if you want to change custody, you have your child, and or you and the mother have agreed to have you have the child, but you got to change the custody. If you don't change the custody, then your case will still remain the same, where you will still be paying the child support and you're not getting credit for all of those overnights. So you want to make sure that you have the change of custody motion done. And because you're part of this particular webinar, if you're watching it now, you do save that $200 off of that. So it actually becomes $694 for that change of custody motion and the plan of action. Again, there's a whole lot of information in the plan of action, some do's and don'ts, some credit tips, some tax refund tips, some bank levy tips, and a lot of different things that comes out of that plan of action. And most of all, it depends on you. And that's how the plan of action is created. Now, some of the motions you need to file in the courtroom, okay, or file with the court. They do electronic filings, so we can do those for you. Our staff is available to do that filing for you if you can't do it because of work, or you want to make sure it's done right. You can hire us to do it, and basically that's $65, and you'll save $25 if you go through us today as well. And that is the registration. You get that off for that amount. So basically you're paying $40 for that. Now, that's only if you're filing motions on those particular situations and you're having us to file. So now there are going to be some times where you go to court, however, you don't like the ruling, okay? Like the ruling for that young lady, if she was my client, I would do an objection. And then that objection, there's a fee for that, and we charge basically $200. And that objection could be for a child support modification, arrears objection for state only, arrears objection for state and mother objection, the parenting time objection, and custody objection. And guys, what I mean by objection is that the referee will make a ruling. If you do not like that ruling, you can basically ask them to change that ruling based on a circumstance that you can come up with. So therefore, they will understand that, okay, now it's going to go before a judge. That's going to be higher than the referee. The referee is the first person you go through majority of the time. If you don't like what that referee said, you can object and go to their boss. Their boss is the judge. And sometimes you might have to go past the judge and appeal it to the chief judge, the presiding judge. So we can help you with that. And that is basically for $200 for that. Okay. Now, it's time for you guys to decide on this. I want to make one particular ad in here, which is not part of it. And that is to establish custody and paternity. And that's going to be for the gentleman like Mr. Patrick. With that particular motion, or really it's not a motion, it's a complaint, that fee is, I'm going to bring it up here just to look it up because it's not part of this particular presentation. So the rate is actually $8, but you're going to receive the $200 off. So it'll be $694. Okay. So for Mr. Patrick, it will end up being establishing paternity, which will involve custody, parenting time, and child support. And that rate is normally $894, but because you attended this particular webinar, it's actually going to be $694. Okay, that's going to include the assessment, which is a POA, and the drafting of that documentation. Now, If it becomes a situation where we need to have an attorney do this for you, you did see the attorney fees. I can tell you that those fees are at least a minimum of $3,000 to hire an attorney. However, we have helped many fathers do this on their own. Okay. I'm glad that Mr. Patrick already has the DNA. He knows that this is his child. That makes it a lot more easier for him. Okay. So that's most important to me. And it makes it goes a little bit smoother. And we have a reference of the established case. There's a lot of different things that I can see that's a benefit that can help move this right along. So that's basically for Mr. Patrick, Pamela, if you make sure to write that down. And then you have a filing fee. There's a filing fee with the court, okay? So that is outside of our services, but they have a filing fee for that. And that is, I believe is $255. I believe that's $255 for the filing fee. Now, if anyone is on any kind of bridge card or unemployed or anything like that, that's what that fee can possibly be waived. Then you have to get her served. That mother has to be served by a process server, and the process server, if she lives in Wayne County, is $65. And that means that the person will knock on her door wherever she's living, or if go to her job. We had someone get served with their job just this past Friday evening, and they were served with the custody papers. This type of establishing custody actually for
Excuse
a
me.
father. Yep.
Can I stop you for a minute? Does the other person has to get served also?
In this, yeah, this other the male that's on the case, yes, he does.
Yes.
So that's
Okay.
actually going to be two services. And so that's $65 a year. Absolutely correct on that. It's a must that he gets served because he's listed as the father. So it's two people that is actually going to be sued for Mr. Patrick, okay, to get into a case to establish paternity as well. And then you all of this can be done online e-filing, but we don't in these type of cases when you're establishing custody or you're doing divorce or whatever, we have a process server do the filings for you. Okay. So that's going to be an additional $65. But we can, if that is something that you guys are interested in, we can put all of this together, and this is including Mr. Brown as well. We put all this together tonight, or really within, we'll say before noon tomorrow, and send out the invoice. And once it's paid, then we can actually get you scheduled to move forward with your actions. Okay. Now, based on the information that I just shared with you, is this something that you all believe that you want to move forward in today?
Yes.
And for Mr. Brown, likewise?
Yes.
Okay. So what we want you to do, if you can, I believe we have if you can just go to our website and put in our contact form. No, Pam, actually, I should just send it. Yeah, just go to our website. Let me put that on the screen here.
You're talking about the email and all that. I did that earlier today.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but this is going to be something totally different. So what I want to have you do is go to our website. Let me stop sharing real quick here and share with you the link that I want you guys to visit on the website. So that and it is actually just Friends of Fathers, you all. And I'm going to share this page with you now. Okay, so right here is the contact information. You guys see my contact page here?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so you can put in the contact information, and then in your message, first of all, you're going to say basically, moving forward, or basically to move forward. Service. And then here is where you're going to put down your address, your mailing address, and your spelling your first and last name, all of that, which is already here, is already here. So you're going to be good there, and your email and your telephone number. So really it's just going to be your address. Okay. And then we're going to put together an invoice, send it out to you, and then you're just pay on the pay link. Okay. The pay link is where you can use your debit card or credit card for the process. And once we receive that, then our office will schedule the time so that we can meet and come in together, or we have to, like for Mr. Patrick or whomever, we can actually do a Zoom meeting as well so we can start this plan of action. In both of your cases right now, we're trying to move forward as soon as possible. That normally doesn't happen that quickly. However, I have a 21-day that is up on the 10th or 11th. And for Mr. Patrick, he can move. We want to move quickly with that one because I believe it's hot off the press and the court is aware of it. And he didn't get his chance a day in court. So we know how to move this faster. So all of that has to be done. And once we get your information, you just register and it's going to come to us this evening. And then before noon, you'll get an invoice. And then once you pay that invoice, then we'll get your schedule.
Okay, I'm still not clear regarding my payment, what I will owe.
Oh, I'm sorry.
To address the 21 days, what I need to say, how much would I need to pay?
You pay that particular, let me show back, you go back to this one here. You would actually pay the POA portion, which is this one here. Am I sharing? Do you guys see my screen?
Yes.
Okay, so you would actually do the PA would address everything here with you. So you're paid at $350 instead of the $397. And the POA is going to address your answers to that document, which is the 36-month. It's basically a 36-month review. And then it's also going to do the objection on that. And also we're going to help you with addressing your parenting time on the things that you need to do to address your parenting time, to enforce it or to change it, what have you, whatever you come up with in your plan of action as you discuss it with us. And we need to do a calculation, okay, of the child support. There's a formula that the court uses. We're going to have that for you so you can present that to them as well with your objection. So they know you know what the heck you're talking about.
Okay.
So this will be the fee that you would actually pay, and you'll get a pay link for that with, like I said, before noon tomorrow. Okay. Ladies, did you have any other questions for me?
For the $694, if we wanted to start that by Friday, would that still be okay?
Yes, it is. Actually, this particular webinar and these fees are actually good until midnight on Friday.
Oh, midnight. Okay.
But you'll get a pay link, like I said, before noon, by noon, and you can basically pay it anytime before that. And as soon as we get notification that you paid, then we'll actually get your schedule to come in. Or
okay,
we'll
so as soon as it's paid, is you'll schedule the conference call and or to come in?
Yes, or to come in.
Okay.
Now, real quick, excuse me.
Sure, no problem.
I have if I'm not mistaken, I have the 84 overnights, but my issue is she's not compliant with the court order for the 84 overnights. Okay, so all she's doing is collecting money.
That's right.
And not letting me see my daughter.
Right. So we'll talk about all of that in your POA. Make sure you bring all of your concerns up during that particular time. And that way we can actually make sure that information is drafted in your POA. So you know what you need to file, what you need to say, and what motions or what forms you need to do as well. Because, and if you decide that you want to do a parenting time plan of action, parenting time motion, all of that information is going to be discussed, and you're going to be typing it up with us, writing it up with us, because this is your personal information, and we're going to put all that information there. So therefore you'll have it so that you can file the right type of motion.
Okay, sounds good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, thank you so much.
All right. Thank you all for joining Friends of Fathers. And please, I don't know if Pamela did this, but I wanted to make sure that you guys go to our social media pages and log into our social media pages. So therefore, we can get more information out there to people. This is our YouTube page. If you can copy that, you can go to our information page, or also go to Friends of Fathers and our Facebook page as well, because with that, more people will get the algorithm. I just went through an AI training today as well, so we're coming up with some good stuff. But please go to our Facebook page, log in. Also go to our YouTube page and log in and subscribe.
I'm not worried about it. Don't stress yourself out.
Okay, so we're good. And sorry, go ahead.
And I'd like to say once again, thank you, Pam, for opening the door earlier today. Appreciate you. Appreciate you.
You're welcome.
I told her, man, when we ain't home, you don't open that door. Don't open that door, girl.
Yeah. I had my hat on. I'm looking like a criminal. She still was like, you know what? Thanks, Pam.
You're welcome, Mr. Brown.
Thank you, Pam. Also, thank you, Pam.
You're welcome. You're so welcome.
I was knocking on the door too.
Well, again, I want to thank you all for joining us, and please pass along to your friends. And again, I want to thank you all for taking your time out to invest your time and as well as your investment to move forward in addressing your life issues when it comes to addressing your child support and friend of the court issue with Friends of Fathers. My name is Joe Farley. I look forward to talking to you in the future. God bless.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Good night, everyone.
Bye-bye.